This war of mine focuses on how gritty wartime is, how it's painful, and how it can force people to make hard choices. Your job is to keep a set of survivors alive in a war zone, and only your survivors. Whether or not you help, kill, or ignore NPCs is up to you. The most people that I had on a playthrough was 4, but I read that it's possible to have a max of 5. No matter who you start with, other people can eventually join. They'll show up at your door during the day and beg you to let them in. When someone begs you, then you can welcome them in. This is the only way you can get new people. And that was weird to me, because you live here in this massive home, or depending on your chosen starting scenario, another massive home. And people are desperate for a safe shelter. At points, crime is raging, and the situation is very dangerous. But yet, no one that you find can join you, even though you have the room. You can't invite anyone in unless they find you and beg to be let in, which I think is a shame and strange, because the game is supposed to be about the hard choices made to survive during war. I think deciding who to let in, how many to try to save, would have been a cool mechanic. Who do you walk by? Who do you invite in? How many can you safely feed? Anyway, on to the gameplay. Collecting items at night is how the survivors survive. They can steal from a hospital, steal from others, or make ill-appropriated goods appropriately appropriated by killing bandits. Scavenging is also an option, but you're not likely to survive by only taking what no one else wants in the middle of a war zone. During the day, your survivors can make things out of what they collected, eat, and wait to see if anyone stops by during the horrible fighting outside where everything's usually on fire. Even if you have nothing to do, waiting during the day is still part of the game, because otherwise, you'll miss anyone who would come to the door. You can only skip to the end of a day. You can't skip hours or minutes ahead. Unless you, the player, are staring at the screen, then the chance to greet a visitor is gone. It won't be done automatically. I usually chose to skip the days anyway. I just didn't care. But if I needed stuff, then I did wait to see if the trader came. He was great for getting materials. He shows up randomly, he seems to have a bag of holding, and be a wizard. I'm guessing that this is how he safely made it to my door so often. Seriously though, his inventory is stacked. You can carry 2 lumber in a slot and 4 thingamajigs in a slot. Look at this guy. Franco is a Home Depot. Eventually, the war will end. Win is supposed to be randomized. An epilogue pops up that summarizes some of the choices you made and what the survivors went on to do. There is a way to escape from the war zone before the war finishes, too, and you'll get a similar but slightly different epilogue. I thought that the premise was interesting. War games often don't focus on the survivors eking out a living, but beyond that, there wasn't much story-wise. I get that the reasons behind why they were suffering didn't matter much. War is war. War is hell. But the story of their survival wasn't interesting to me. What went on around them was static. Whether I helped others or not didn't feel like it mattered. War didn't touch the survivors much outside of the collection mechanic, only being able to go out at night, and some generic lines. There also weren't any character subplots or any events to draw interest. Even being able to bring some people back as fellow survivors would have helped that. And the survivors themselves felt like dolls, which also made the story worse. You could read a bit about them in their bios, and they reacted to things, but their reactions were simple and few. I could sympathize with their predicament, but not them, not as unique people. Meanwhile, the gameplay was often weird. Wood was hard to gather, 2 to a stack, which made little sense since it was constantly in the background, and breaking it down into kindling didn't yield much. 1 wood gave 1 fuel. I didn't understand why lumber made so very little kindling, and murder was surprisingly easy and lucrative when it didn't glitch, while bullets were surprisingly weak in comparison. The glitches were especially annoying because of the game's permadeath mechanic, too. You can avoid permadeath though, it's just not an intended game feature. The game only autosaves after a night is done and when a character dies, so quickly switching away from the game's window will prevent it from saving. Do it right before death and it's dodged. It's worth doing if you've played for several hours and are about to lose your best scavenger over some lame dance moves. Some of the glitches that I encountered were simple ones, like those dance moves were. Others were odd. I mean, maybe you could argue that he was senile. But if so, then the dude's still a psychic who knows the names of everyone he encounters. And I kind of want to know about his war experiences now. The art was what I liked the most. The city backgrounds were really detailed. I thought that the character movements looked smooth and nice, too. The music fit nicely with the game, but not nice enough to make me want to listen to it outside of the game. All in all, I'd say that this War of Mine is an okay survival game. There is some tension in wondering who and what you'll encounter as you wander around and explore. Sneaking around is neat, its art looks detailed, the premise is interesting, but the story, characters, glitches, and some gameplay issues weren't so great. So while I think it's okay, it's definitely not one of my favorite games.